Hi, ladies. We are live finally.
Yay!
But it worked, so thank goodness. I have an awesome guest with me today, and I feel sort of like I have a celebrity on my show today, Liz Johnson. I read and devoured her book, Perk Your Sphere. I think it took me like 2 hours to read, and
Yes.
then now it's going to take a lifetime to implement.
No, no.
But I love it. I love it. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me.
So let's just start out with introductions. Tell us a little bit about you. Where do you serve?
Okay, well, I'm in Washington State, not DC. I say I'm always convinced I live in DC, and I'm like, no, because they're like, what time is it there? They're in California. I'm like, same time that it is there. But I'm in the suburbs, so I don't serve the city of Seattle, but the suburbs like south and east of there, and I do Tacoma. So,
Okay.
um, basically the Puget Sound, Western Washington area. And if it's
Gotcha.
not the area, I can guide you in the right direction if you have somebody that way.
Yeah,
And I've been a realtor since November of 2004. So 2000,
okay.
my first year. I started out at John L. Scott, which is a big brokerage here in our neck of the woods.
Hmm.
Moved to Keller Williams in 2007 and have been there since. I recently became part owner. I bought a bunch of shares.
Oh, wow.
That was a big, scary step. Uh,
Awesome.
and then what else? I have a team now. So I've had an assistant for a long, long time, like a transaction coordinator assistant, probably since 2010. Then I got an executive assistant full time starting in 2014. And then I added a buyer's agent in the end of 2015, and then just added another buyer's agent in about April of 2017. So
Awesome. So
that's,
what is with each of those changes, did you notice a change in production and do you remember those numbers?
oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if it's in my book, but I say it in the class. So I'll go backwards. So in 2017, we closed 120, the three of us.
Awesome.
In 2016, we closed 97. 2015, we closed 54. So that was me mostly. And then I added that buyer's agent in October of 2015.
Okay.
The year before that, 2014, where it was just me, was 38.
Awesome.
And then 2013 was 23.
So it just keeps going up and up and up. What are your goals for this year?
Well, in 5 years, I went from 100,000 GCI to 1.2 million GCI.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the average price there, what is the average price where you're at?
it's about 350.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the goal this year, and a lot of people go, what? Is 123. They're like, well, you did 120 last year. I go, yes. And with the amount of growth we had in 5 years, I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm embarrassed about how some of our transactions went down last year. Like we had one bad review written, which actually wasn't deserved. But I'll say there were probably 7 or 8 people that could have justifiably wrote bad reviews and thank God didn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're taking this year to just perfect systems and refine systems. And even like with the MVP program, with the Perk Your Sphere thing, some of our events weren't that awesome because I realized like nobody actually called to verify they were coming. We sent the email.
Right.
Yeah. And then I was like, where you at? They're like, oh, I didn't know we made it. Like we
Right.
made the cut. I'm like, yeah, I sent you an email. So we're just all kind of taking a minute to breathe,
Yep.
gas off the pedal a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, and I think that's important to be able to step back and recognize when there are areas in your business that you could improve. I mean, even I do that. We basically every month we're looking at, okay, if there's something that goes wrong, what do we do different for
exactly.
next time? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So what I've been saying is we're going to focus on quality in 2018 so that in
Mhm.
2019, the quantity comes naturally because we're going to
Absolutely.
do a great job with customer care that the referrals will pour in even more than they already do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Well, I love your system. Can you tell me kind of how that came about?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. So, I, I, another leg of my business is farming, and I do
Uh-huh.
it a little differently. So, a colleague, friend, competitor, person of mine said, "Hey, will you teach me your formula? Because I want to do it in my area." I said, "Sure." So I laid it all out for him. And then he goes, "Okay, I feel like I owe you one now. So here's this system I started doing with referrals." And my eyes just glazed over. And he was like, the database system he was using was Infusionsoft, and that's like $1,000 a month. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is not me. La 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 la, And I just kindly thanked him. So the next,
Right.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just said right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. And then the next day I had my coaching call, and my coach is like, going through my numbers, saying with the amount of people that you have in your database, you should have closed double what you closed without ever having to cold call. Because back then I was cold calling too. And
Right. Okay. How many people did you have in your database? Do you remember?
I don't remember the number, but it was, I should have closed, at that point, I was closing 23, and I
Okay.
should have closed 46 just without ever having to pick up the phone and prospect.
Gotcha.
And he's like, what's your issue? I go, I don't know. I'm doing a 33 touch. I'm sending
Right.
out a mailer and a birthday card and an email. He goes, tell me about the phone calls. And I'm like, about the what? Phone calls?
That's funny. Well, honestly, it's one of those things that it's kind of it can be uncomfortable to do if you
Yeah.
don't have it in your schedule and already sort of have a game plan. And
Right.
that's something I love about your system is because it really gives you a reason to call them.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. Um,
I have
so I don't
notifications
have
going off.
a I don't have a problem calling like the buyer that we closed 6 months ago to say, "Hey,
Mhm.
Becky, how's it going? How's the house? Did you get all moved in finally? Whatever happened with that thing."
Right.
But I struggled to call the client whose investment property I sold 2 years ago. I don't
Right.
know what to say other than, "Hey, got any referrals for me?" And that I always felt yucky doing that. I know
Right.
it's not
Or what about the person that you sold, like the seller, and they moved away?
right.
That's one thing I even think about. I should probably be reaching out to them in some way, but
Yeah,
it's just weird.
I know. I struggled with it. So what I remembered my friend Jeremy saying, and I give him props in the book, was, how the system works is you got to call them to, and see them face to face
Mhm.
for their giveaways and the events you do and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's not as awkward of a phone call for somebody I haven't seen in 6 years or something.
Right.
So I met with Jeremy again and took notes on his system, and then I made it mine because I didn't have money for Infusionsoft. I needed to like really simplify it for me. And at
Mhm.
that time, I was flat broke. This was the beginning of 2014. I was
Right.
like commission check to commission check. And I took the $300 a month I was spending on Vulcan 7 for my cold calling and put
Uh-huh.
it into this. So I had decided 150 was my budget for monthly giveaways, and
Mhm.
150 would be set aside for the All-Star rewards.
Okay.
And and then I figured once the All-Star rewards exceeded 150 a month, it was a high quality problem to have. That meant
Right. You would be closing deals and getting
right,
more
more
referrals. So yeah, it
money
would kind of solve
giving
itself.
me referrals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And that's why, like, I do recommend to new agents that they start this from the get go because it's completely scalable. So
No.
what I say in my class is like, let's say you have 50 people in your database and 3 past clients at this point in your career. You can still do the monthly giveaway saying, first 10 people to answer up gets this thing for free, whatever. And
Okay.
maybe you just bought one or two. They don't know. They're not coming to your house to do inventory. And
Right.
you can say after the second one's gone, "Oh, sorry, Kelly, we're out, but next time, or I'll put you on the waiting list in case somebody doesn't pick theirs up." That's what,
Right.
yeah, sometimes I've screwed up. I thought I got 10 things, or I thought I got 15, and two of them were broken, and we had 8. They don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's good. Fake it till you make it kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, because I put the question up there. That was one of the questions. So, for those of you who don't know, everybody that was in my email list, I shot an email to them, reminding them about our call, and then seeing if they wanted to ask you questions. And I got a few back that did have some questions. And Rhea Pickett, shout out to Rhea. She is brand new in the business, essentially kind of starting. I think she's done it for 3 years, but anyway, she is in Arizona, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, she asked if you would do it for somebody who's new, and you're saying yes. So
Yeah, because then you don't have to send out an apology letter like I did.
Right?
Yeah.
So how would she go about it? Like, basically, I'm her coach actually, and I had her make a list of, 100 people that she knows in her database. So is there a few like just really quick action steps you would give her to start this out? She does have your book, by the way.
I would use is years ago I used to be in Buffini coaching, and he had that, they called it the mayor campaign. Like you were to buy or sell property or knew somebody am I the realtor of choice? So that is the parameter. So when I started this in 2014, I had about 1,500 people in my database, but I put only, I think it's like 170 something in the MVP program, because the litmus test I used was that they had closed a deal with me and I wanted to work with them again.
That's important.
Tried to do a deal. So like maybe I listed your house because you and your husband were going to move to Michigan, and then you found out the job thing didn't go through. So then we canceled the listing. Well, you tried to use me, but it just didn't work out.
Right.
So closed business with me, tried to close business with me, or have referred business to me. Because I have a couple people in my program that they refer me business, but they can't use me because they have a family member.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that in the book.
Right. So it's like, as long as I believe that I'm the realtor of choice, and like I say in the book and I say in my class, if you don't know for sure, pick up the phone and ask. And if you're too uncomfortable to pick up the phone and ask, then maybe they don't belong in your program.
Right. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would just say start it out like email instead of doing the Facebook group so they don't see how many people are in there?
Yeah.
Maybe about 10 people or...
Like I was talking to a gal yesterday, and somebody messaged me a few days ago with this. So I'm going to kind of rant for a second. When you launch your program, you're going to send out an email talking about it. You're going to send out snail mail talking about it, because some of your emails are going to go to spam, or they're just going to like mass delete one morning when they're having a day.
Right.
You're going to also mail, and even though you mail, you're going to send an email, because sometimes, like if they're like me, they don't open up their email or their snail mail, I should say, for 3 weeks.
Right.
But the most important part, and I told this girl yesterday on the phone, she goes, "We're launching February 1st. I go, "You made all your phone calls?" She's like, "My what?"
Yeah.
Well, I sent them all emails and I announced it on Facebook. I said, no, don't launch it until you've had a phone conversation, or at least left a message.
Well, and I don't know that I would announce it on Facebook, because I want it to be special. I would.
Well, she made a closed group.
Okay.
I said, but Facebook, like this morning when I woke up, I had 44 Facebook notifications. Yesterday, when I got done with a couple appointments and a meeting, I had 45 Facebook notifications. So at that point, I'm just checking to see if somebody tagged me in a photo where I could look horrible, or
right, or mention you in a comment, or
like something like that. But if it was just like somebody posted in this group or that group or whatever, I scroll.
Yep.
So you got to make the phone calls, because that's where the magic happens. So this other girl that messaged me a few days ago, and she hasn't answered me. She goes, when should I, I'm trying to be patient, but when should I expect some traction on this? Because I started a few months ago. And I said, that's really weird, because most people are seeing the traction right off the bat when they make their phone calls.
Right.
And before they even send out their first giveaway. And I said, you made your phone calls, right? ? And then it's been radio silence. And even yesterday,
she was probably like, no.
Yeah. I said, so, ... ? No.
That's funny. Well, and like you said before, I mean, you wanted to make those calls anyway, but didn't feel like you had a reason. And then this opens it up. What a perfect way,
Yeah.
natural way. I mean, who doesn't want to be included in some sort of rewards program?
Yeah. So like for the new agent, they could just say, hey, I'm starting my business. I learned this great program and I'm going to do this and it's going to be amazing. For somebody like me who failed everybody miserably for several years,
Oh,
I had to come from a place of apology and say, I've done a terrible job thanking you over the years for all your referrals and your business and staying in touch. And from here on out, I'm going to make it my business to find items of value and events that I feel you and your family might enjoy. Please accept my apology. And, just really poured it on thick. And
I
a
love
lot when you apologize, you get people come to your rescue. You know what I mean? Have you noticed that? Like,
Yes. They're like, oh no, honey, you're doing good.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the agent that showed my house left the back door open. You're like, oh my God, I am so sorry. They're like, well, it's not your fault. I'm like, what can
Right.
I do to make this up to you? Like, well, oh, nothing. I'm sorry
It's
I
it's
bothered you.
diffusing the situation.
Yeah,
Yes. That's a good tip for you guys.
yes.
Also, let me just interrupt real quick. If you have questions, comment below because I have three more questions or a couple more questions to ask, but you guys definitely comment as well because this is live.
My dog needs to go outside.
Okay, that's
He
cool.
keeps looking at me like, lady.
But I'm like that, Liz, as well. I got my license in August of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So just slightly before, and I've done it on and off. I actually haven't been full time this entire time I've had my license,
Right.
and I'm gonna have to do the same thing. I'm gonna have to go back to my past clients and just come from a place of apology because I've not been consistent. I mean, we've been successful and just attracting business, thank goodness, but I cannot wait to see how this transforms my business. I mean, not doing something like that. Last year was at 88 transactions with one team member. So I'm excited to just.
Yeah, no, this is like, have you read The One Thing? They talk
Yeah.
about domino. This was my domino.
Yeah.
Because this spreads into everything else. And I think I mentioned it in the book, but in my class, I say the circle of Yelp, but it could be Zillow or whatever. But when you treat clients with this kind of Nordstrom level customer service, they're more apt to write you a great review on Zillow or Yelp or wherever you've got reviews, realtor.com, which then gets you new business.
Right. Well, and that's, you hear some other coaches and trainers out there that say, well, you can't rely on referrals. If you just do referrals, your business is going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Well, I think that could be true in some cases, but using your system, I think you're still funneling people in to your database just in a different way. You have little soldiers out there saying, use Liz Johnson. You need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a fan club.
Yeah, they're doing the heavy lifting for me for the most part. Like,
exactly.
The coach I have, she finally understands now. I'll never tell her how many dials I made or how many calls I made that week. I have no idea. There's some days I make 0 calls, but set 3 appointments because they were emails or calls that came in.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I know. I have a coach, and that's one of the questions. How many, like you said, calls or prospecting? I'm like, I don't know. They're calling me. I don't know.
Exactly. All I know is I went on 3 appointments this week. That's what I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's important is the actual money making activity. So, and if you don't have those money making activities, the appointments, the contracts, well, then yeah, you need to be doing those other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we do have some questions. Liz said calls are important before doing a campaign. What's the dialogue? So, Liz, I'll say real quick, a lot of this information is in Perk Your Sphere. So if you guys want more like a detailed account, you can check that out. I put the link in the above in the description. But do you want to take a quick stab?
It's going to depend on where they're coming from. If they're brand new or if they have to come from apology, because I kind of went over that. They got to make it their own.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Liz, we lost you. Okay, I'm going to send this back to her and hopefully. Oh, wait, here we go.
Okay, sorry, my phone rang, which vibrated and then threw it off the thing.
We're learning all kinds of things. So a phone call will disrupt the broadcast. You can't use it with Chrome.
Right?
I love Be Live, but there's a few hangups.
Yes, for sure. So, what was I going to say? I don't even know.
Oh, about the dialogue, she's saying.
It really depends on your person. There's not a canned one that I've got. But
Right.
those ideas from the book. And then we have a mastermind group on Facebook where people are just sharing ideas. So
is it like a free mastermind or does it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sphere Mastermind. I kind of monitor it. And my old assistant that works for somebody else monitors it.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, well, she helped finish the book, so what can I do? But yeah, no. And people are answering each other's questions. Like sometimes I even stay out of it. And
that's kind of in our group in the Mega Moms page. I try to be in there, but trust me, with 13,000 plus women, it's impossible to answer every question that comes through. And that's the beauty of it. They answer their own questions.
Well, exactly. And some people have issues that I didn't have in my market or my area or style of business, or like, I use Starbucks rewards, and I've got some people in the Midwest that
it's an hour from me.
Right, exactly. So there's a QT Mart or something. I don't.
So what I did, Liz, I mean, maybe this will help some others like me that Starbucks is far away. I have a local coffee shop, and I did this at Christmas time, and I sent all of my like VIP people a little image and said, take it to the coffee shop and you can redeem it. And the awesome part about it is, since it's a mom and pop small place and they want the traffic, they gave me 75% off.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So
yeah.
Share that on the mastermind group, because that's what I talk about a lot is look for those deals, because it's a win-win-win with these, like, especially the giveaways. I always get them at a discount because whenever there's pushback, I'm like, look, I'm going to expose your thing to people you don't even know. And you're going to put your business card, your promotional stuff in there. So if they want more of it, if they like it, you're going to get new business. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't think of it that way.
Have you ever thought about incorporating some sort of a community show into your program, like a weekly thing where you're highlighting a business?
Not really. What I'm really trying to do is get a coaching company to purchase it from me and just pay me royalties, because I'm one of the few realtors that still like selling houses.
Okay, well, I might want to be in that bidding war with you. Okay. So. I love it.
I take probably 4 calls a week from people just with little questions like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? And I love everybody and stuff, but I just, that's not what I want.
You want to be a realtor?
Yeah, I want to go on listing appointments. I want to show homes. I want to help my team. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I'm not looking for an out of real estate.
Do you need to go to an appointment right now?
Yeah, that's why I was putting.
Okay, sorry. Okay, just real quick. She said, I've been licensed since 2017. My sphere is so small. I do not have a supportive family. What are suggestions to build a strong SOI? Yeah.
Well, there's lots of stuff you can do. Like that's how my farming formula came to be. Was my coach at that time said, you need more people in your sphere, so you need to find a way to cast a net. So I developed an online farm. I created a Facebook page called I Love Lake Taps.
Love it.
Lived in the Lake Taps area, and I would do booths at community events and sponsor things, and it just I really, some of my best clients came from there, because I served hot chocolate at the Polar Bear Plunge and little things like that, and just would get to know people. We would do like best of summer photo contest, best Christmas light contest on the Facebook page, just had fun with it. And
would you be a special guest in my inner circle? I'm already booked through March, but maybe like in May or June or something like that. And okay, and maybe we can pick your brain and go a little deeper and stuff. So
yeah,
I know you have to go, but guys, definitely check out her book. It's amazing. You can get it on Amazon. I put the link to it above.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. We've learned so much from you just in these short 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
go get that listing or sell that house or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, bye.
Bye.